Today I am spending 12 hours in economy on Royal Jordanian. On this intercontinental journey, I'll review their mid-haul and long-haul products to find out whether the flag carrier of Jordan can compete with more well-known airlines. The adventure begins in the French capital of Paris. Good afternoon guys, and welcome back to the channel. Today we are flying Royal Jordanian from Paris to Bangkok via Amman, the capital city of Jordan, and the first flight is gonna be 4.5 hours on an Airbus A321, and then the second flight is gonna be 8 hours on Royal Jordanian's flagship Dreamliner. And to be honest, I don't really know what to expect. The Middle East is full of great airlines, but Royal Jordanian is never really mentioned in the same breath as Turkish, Emirates or Qatar. But they aren't known for being terrible either. So yeah, let's head to the airport and find out how Royal Jordanian is. Alright then, welcome to Paris Charles de Gaulle Terminal 2. With over 57 million passengers per year, this is the 9th busiest airport in the world and number 3 in Europe behind Heathrow and Istanbul. The easiest way to get here is by using the RER B train, which connects Charles de Gaulle to the center of Paris. The journey takes about 45 minutes and costs €11.80. Now the first thing to know about CDG Airport is that it is extremely complicated. Terminal 2 is supposed to be one terminal, but it is divided into 7 sub-terminals, some of which are accessible by footbridge, while others require a shuttle bus. In other words, knowing which terminal you're departing from isn't enough. You also need to check the letter, such as 2A, 2B and so on, in order to be at the right place. Royal Jordanian departs from section 2B, which caters to One World Alliance members, except when they are flying to Asia or the Middle East. Then it's Terminal 1. But wait a minute, aren't we flying to the Middle East today? Yes, Royal Jordanian somehow is the exception to the rule. Because why make things easy if you can make them complicated, right? Anyways, check-in took an absolute eternity. I had done my online check-in, but I still needed to drop my bag. And unfortunately, there was no separate line for baggage drop, and the whole process took over an hour. Luckily, security and passport control were much quicker, and I was at the gate in about 10 minutes. The first flight of today's itinerary is RJ118, departing Paris at 3:20 p.m. and landing in Amman at 10:05 p.m., taking into account the 2-hour time difference. The gates in departure zone 2B are located behind passport control in the non-Schengen area, and there aren't many shops and restaurants here. You'll find a duty-free store and a prêt-à-manger, and that's pretty much it. What I do like about CDG Airport is that they have lots of PlayStation corners where you can play FIFA and other games right at the gate. It was soon time for boarding, and I made my way through the jet bridge onto the Royal Jordanian Airbus A321. This plane was delivered in 2012 and is currently the only A321 in active service for Royal Jordanian. This is their mid-haul product, and they generally use this on Middle Eastern routes such as Amman to Riyadh, Dubai or Jeddah. There are 20 seats in business class and 147 in economy. So what's the cabin like? Well, this plane looks a bit tired and outdated, but the seats are super comfortable and the headrest is among the best I've seen in economy. On a less positive note, the in-flight entertainment system is from 2012 and it did not work at all on this flight. The same applied to the USB port next to it. You could say that this is not a major issue on a 4.5-hour flight, but why keep the old screens if they aren't working? Anyways, the legroom is great and the seats somehow feel way softer than in most other economy cabins. just like the check-in process, boarding had taken ages, and by the time we were taxiing onto the runway, it was 3:55 p.m. We took off at 4 p.m., exactly 40 minutes behind schedule. After reaching cruising altitude, not much happened for a good 90 minutes. The service on this flight was pretty slow and the crew didn't seem particularly motivated. We got some water and peanuts before receiving a full meal, and it's here where Royal Jordanian started to shine. There were two options, beef or chicken, and I went for the beef stroganoff. And let me tell you this, it was delicious. Considering that on most European airlines you would get a sandwich on this route, this is top-notch service. The meal also included some nuts and vegetables, as well as a sweet dessert. Well done, Royal Jordanian. I paired this with a lovely glass of red wine, and yes, Royal Jordanian serves alcohol. The rest of the flight was pretty uneventful, but I have to say that flying over the Alps at sunset is simply breathtaking. So yeah, conclusions on this first flight. Great food, super comfortable seats, but a lot of room for improvement when it comes to the speed of the service and the outdated screens. But it is important to mention that this is not Royal Jordanian's flagship long-haul product, so we can't judge them too harshly on it. We arrived in Amman at 10:40 p.m. local time, 35 minutes behind schedule. I now have a layover of about 3.5 hours before catching the next flight. Alright guys, welcome to Jordan, more specifically Amman Queen Alia Airport. I've actually never been here before, so yeah, let's see what this transit experience is gonna be like. The flight was a mixed bag, I have to say. Not great, not terrible. So yeah, let's see what awaits us here at Queen Alia Airport. Jordan's main international airport opened in 1983 and is named after Queen Alia, who tragically died in a helicopter crash in 1977. The current single terminal structure was completed in 2013, and I have to say it is pretty fantastic. Everything is well designed, spacious and modern. Transit security took no more than 10 minutes, and there are plenty of shops and restaurants, all of which were open past midnight. You'll find Arabic, Western and also Asian food here, and prices are reasonable compared to other airports. The Wi-Fi was also working well. The terminal wasn't too crowded, and I spent most of my time relaxing in the departure zone. So yeah, Queen Alia is a great transit airport, and that is a major plus for Royal Jordanian because this is their primary hub. Before long, it was time to board the second flight, RJ182, departing Amman at 2:25 am and arriving in Bangkok at 2:35 pm. Flight time will be about 8 hours. This flight is operated by one of RJ's Boeing 787 Dreamliners, undoubtedly their best product. This one was delivered in 2014 and is one of 7 Dreamliners currently in service for Royal Jordanian. So, did it disappoint? The answer is not even a little bit. This Dreamliner has 24 seats in business class and 246 in economy. I chose 31A, a window seat in the back of the plane. The seats are great and the legroom is decent as well. The headrest is very comfortable and easily adjustable. Pillows and blankets were provided, and there is a modern in-flight entertainment system with power sockets and USB charging. So yeah, the hard product certainly ticks all the boxes, but we'll find out later whether the rest of the experience is also competitive. The safety video came on and we departed bang on time at 2:35 a.m. On this flight, the service was also much quicker, which is kind of important to maximize sleep. So, did the catering impress again? The short answer is yes. Just like on the first flight, dinner service had a beef and chicken option. And this time I went for the chicken with pita bread. It came with lentils, a yogurt sauce and a dessert cake. Everything was tasty and high quality. And the meal went down well with a Belgian beer. Nothing to complain. After the meal, I checked out the in-flight entertainment system, which had an extensive selection of movies, games and maps. I ended up watching a bit of Django Unchained, but fell asleep rather quickly. Not because of the movie, mind you, but because I was shattered. Good night. I got about 4 hours of sleep in and woke up somewhere in Asia. Breakfast came swiftly and it was a lovely omelette with sausages, a croissant and some fruits. I have to say that the food on both flights was flawless. The loo was also clean and we were now approaching Thailand. So yeah, the experience on the Dreamliner was overwhelmingly positive. I would have to go very far to find negative things to mention here, and that would be me nitpicking details. We arrived in Bangkok Suvarnabhumi at 2 p.m, 35 minutes ahead of schedule. As we are disembarking, it's time to reveal the price. I paid 351 euros for this journey, which is incredible value for money. I should mention that this was a Black Friday deal, so I got a bit of a discount, but even if I had paid 100 euros more, I would still recommend taking it. To conclude, I am giving Royal Jordanian a 7 out of 10. I would give the second flight more, but this review considers both flights and the first flight wouldn't merit a higher score. But overall, I would certainly recommend this option if you want to get from Europe to Asia for reasonable prices. And that's it for today. Let me know down in the comments, have you flown Royal Jordanian before? And if so, what is your opinion? As always, thanks very much for watching and see you again next time. Goodbye.